Thank you for taking the time to check out this demo of Nekst. My name is Brett. I am the founder of Nekst. I have a background in real estate myself. I have a team. I have a real estate brokerage, and we built this tool internally, but it became such a big hit and success with others that we've turned it into a product that now agents all over the country are using, and transaction coordinators and teams. So first, we're going to get into just briefly kind of where Nekst fits into your product mix that you use to help you run your business. Then we'll talk about some of the problems that Nekst solves. And we'll kind of do a demo and focus on those features that help to address that specific problem. So feel free to watch clips individually, or you can watch the entire thing. But hopefully you get a lot of great insight out of this. And then if you have additional questions or want to set up a further conversation, there'll be information on how to do that as well. So let's focus on where Nekst fits into your real estate business. So there are three different kind of categories, as I call it, to running a successful real estate business for agents and teams. There is the lead and client management. So this is step one, right? You need to get clients before you have clients. And this is some of the products that are used, Real Geeks, Lofty, Follow, Boss, Top Producer, all those. It's really your CRMs. It's your things that help you to manage relationships or to generate brand new clients. From there, you move on to writing contracts for these people and doing some marketing for their listings. So we have Dotloop, DocuSign, SkySlope, some of those pieces. A lot of those are driven by what your broker recommends that you use or requires you to use. And then we move into the operations section. And this is where there's not a lot of great tools. There are some CRMs that do try to do some process management, but it is not their focus, and they don't do a very good job. Nekst is specifically designed to be your operation system for your business. And when you have good operations set up, you can scale your business, you can bring on an assistant easily, and you future-proof your business from some of those income fluctuations, which none of us want to have to experience. So we'll first get into the different needs, okay? And there are 7 here. We're going to start with building better systems. So for a lot of you, you've been running things in your head, you've made mistakes, and you just need some systems. So we're going to start there. These are the processes of your business. And until you have systems defined and move from out of your head and into a program like Nekst, it's really hard to bring in any sort of assistant or TC and let them help you to grow your business and free up that time that you can put into the more important activities, which are generating clients, generating leads, and putting homes under contract. So in order to just kind of start out with talking about systems, we are going to look at the different types of properties that can be managed within Nekst. We're going to look at some of the preloaded action plans and the different types of tasks that we give you to build out some super effective workflows. So we're going to pop in over here to our Nekst, and I'm on a team version. So this is a little bit different than what you might see in the free version or the single user version, but for the most part, the features are pretty much the same except for the collaboration features that come along with our team version. So we're going to start in the plan section, and this is where we create super powerful workflows. So when we talk about transaction type, you can see that there's really 6 different types that we manage, plus there's an other category for everything else. So you can manage listings in here. We have pending buyers and pending sellers. Also, if you do a lot of dual agency, you can structure these so that you are working both sides of the deal with a single workflow. We also rolled out recently the ability to manage active buyers. So with the need for us to get buyers to sign written buyer agency representation agreements, or buyer representation agreements, it's important that you come to them with tools and a presentation that shows them that you are going to be the best agent that they can work with. So following just a process and steps for turning a prospective buyer into a client is extremely important these days. And then you can run all sorts of other systems. So you might have a process for bringing on a new agent for your team, or unfortunately exiting a person from your team. It could be a mega open house that you are running that could fall under the other category. Really, any process that you want to run within your business can be done in Nekst. So we're going to start with a pending buyer transaction type. And then within there, we have all sorts of different action plans we can follow. The one that I'm going to use is our demo buyer financing closing plan. So you'll notice that there are 3 types of tasks. If I click on add task, there's a standard task, there is an email task and an SMS task. So the standard task I'm going to open up first and show you what that looks like. So this one is called Execute Purchase Contract. And within here, we have a ton of different features and flexibility. So this is your pretty much your basic to-do that can be found on any other type of to-do platform. We have a name. We have an option called a key date. So a key date is an important deadline or important type of task for that transaction. So there are certain tasks that are more important than others. In this case, we can mark a task as a key date, and this kind of helps to highlight its importance when we have our calendar that we can integrate. When we want to just see a succinct kind of milestones of the transaction, it also plays a role in the client portal that we'll get to. So key date's an option to kind of flag a task as being very important. We also have an option to only have a task occur during a business week. So what this does is any tasks that would fall on a Saturday or a Sunday would be shifted up to the Friday before. Okay. Now, when we're building templates, we're not actually putting in calendar dates because we don't know what those dates are, and because as we go down into the future, there's going to be different dates happening. So all of our tasks are due around a start date and an end date. Okay. For a purchase contract like this, your start date would be either the day that you execute the contract, or it would be the day that you are starting all of your other contingency deadlines from. So different markets have different terminologies for that. And then we have our end date, which is pretty much the closing date. You can have tasks occur after the end date or the closing date, such as a 30-day follow-up, such as putting out some sort of update on social media about the sale. So there's things that you do after closing that Nekst can also help you to run. We also have this option called linking to a detail box, which we'll get to in a future video. And then we have a task description. So this description can be used in two ways. One, it can be used for to help train someone on your team to know what the task means. And you can also put the description in here to share on a client portal. So it's just a description of what this means. So if you're sharing a portal with a client and there's a task called schedule inspections, it might have an overview of what inspections you recommend and how that process works. Down below there, you have our transaction parties. Now, in the team account, you can assign to any type of role. In this case, for a single user, you can just assign to yourself, which you use the role of manager. So every task you create is going to be assigned to you. Then you can also have an email reminder sent out up to 3 days in advance. Okay, so that is our standard task. If we look at our email task, and I'll actually pick this one. Okay, email task, very similar with a few additional options. The first is where we have the name of the task. This is also going to be your subject line. So contract and key dates dash co-agent. This is an email that's getting sent out to the other agent on the transaction with an overview of all the important deadlines of the contract. Okay, and every time an email gets sent out, we also add the name of the property to it. So you don't have to worry about customizing it, but you will know every time an email is sent which property it is associated with or which transaction it is associated with. So this is not only the name of the task, but also the subject line of the email. Down below here, we have auto send as another feature. So if you want this to automatically send out, you can do that, and it'll go out roughly 9 a.m. on the day that this task comes due. The only thing to be careful about is if there's conversations that happen the night before about something and then an email gets automatically sent saying something else, it can create some confusion. So just be careful on how you use the auto send option. You can also control who on your team sends it. So the single user version will not have this option, but as a team, you can have this come from the agent, from the transaction coordinator, from the client services manager, from the team lead, anyone that you want. And then down below here, we have our email message, complete with some smart tags, so you can insert some dates, which we'll get to in a later video. And then we also have, besides assignment, who is the recipient of the email. So in this case, it is getting sent to the co-op agent, and then it's going to also copy the real estate agent and the transaction coordinator, and we'll go ahead and copy myself. Okay, so that's an email task. And these are great because as we look at specifically the email tasks involved throughout a process, this is where you can look at, okay, what is my communication like throughout this process? How often am I communicating to my client? How often am I communicating to the other agent on the deal or the the lender or the title company, and these are a lot of just reminders and updates. Where are we on the appraisal? So this can be a super powerful way to streamline all the communication that you want to provide as a high service agent. And then we will also take a look at our SMS tasks. Examples down here, this is where we are sending a note to our clients saying, congratulations, we're one step closer to closing. We are through the HOA contingency. Next step is the inspection contingency or whatever it might be. So Nekst can send a message directly to your clients or anybody else in the transaction and communicate kind of a one-way message to let them know where they are in this process. Now, if you also want to set these up to send to your team members that say, hey, don't forget the inspection comes due today or tomorrow, whatever it might be. These are broadcast messages that cuts through the clutter of email, goes straight to your recipients' phones, and helps you to just stay top of mind and keep everything on track. So those are the three different types of tasks that can create some totally awesome, robust action plans. There's one more type of task. You'll see that there is, for example, down here under receive HOA documents for review, and actually we'll skip down to this one. It's inspection findings addendum. So for a lot of markets out there, you have a window of time to do your inspections, and you have a window of time to negotiate the findings of those inspections. So with a lot of tools, you don't necessarily know whether people will take the full 10 days for inspections or 5 days or 2 days or what. So what we've done is we've created something called a dependent task, and that is a way that you can create a task that comes due so many days after another task is marked complete. So for example, our primary task is this deliver inspection findings, and we typically have 10 days. I can come down here and create an email, a text message, or a standard task that is triggered the moment this is marked complete. So for example, if you want to send a text message that says, great job completing inspections. So this is going to go to our client. The inspection addendum has been sent. Thanks for being timely. I'll update you once we get a response. So this is our message that we're going to send to the buyer, and I'll copy myself on it as well so I know that it goes out. And this will happen as soon as this is checked off. We'll get this message triggered, and we'll just go ahead and save this, and you'll see that this will fall underneath this inspection findings primary task. So as soon as this is done, this is triggered, we press a button to send it, and now we're including additional communication and direction to our clients in the system and cutting through a lot of the clutter. With Nekst, we do preload you with some of these action plans so that you can make a copy, and from there you can edit them to kind of fit your market. I would say probably 80% of the action plans are in line with how you run your business. Some need to be changed. Any of these words can be edited. Any of the titles can be changed. You can add tasks in. You can do mass updates to quickly change certain details, whether it's the due date or changing things to key dates or reassigning them if you have a team account. And if you are interested in us helping you to integrate your action plans into Nekst, we can do that as well. Just reach out for more information. But this is the quick overview on how you can develop very, very robust action plans. We have not come across any process that someone has brought us where we have not been able to integrate their process into this and probably even help to enhance their process and make even better action plans for them to follow. So that is how we help you create better systems. Our next video, we're going to talk about focus. So with focus, what we're going to do is look at the 4 steps for launching a new transaction, how we actually go from robust action plan into concrete tasks that are due today or become past due or due tomorrow. We're also going to look at how you can create different roles for the people that you want to track in your transaction management and how you can work with all of those different transaction parties.